kind of like.
Hey, welcome back to Besties and Bubbles.
Cheers.
We just recorded our first episode and then watched it back with a couple more cocktails, honestly.
It was so much fun.
We have so much to talk about, but this next one, I think,
Oh, my phone's here.
it defines the difference between the two of us, honestly. Like, there's so many similarities, but did I say that word right?
Similarities.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I mean,
it was close.
You kind of did. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you like B plus, A minus.
There's so many similarities between the two of us, but the biggest difference about our lifestyle, not personalities, but lifestyle, is that Kimmy's been married for
30 years. 924 94. So actually
nice.
30 plus, but yes.
And I am very single. So these are the type of conversations, like I said before in our first podcast, we see each other every day. So we are in constant communication about what happened last night or how something made us feel or the date I'm going on this weekend or how her and Maddie went and did their Christmas. They do their little Christmas shopping at Oprah, and they do shopping together and dinner together. It's so cute. And
we grocery shop together. I mean, that's just what we do.
So we have our similarities, and then we also have our differences. So we thought we would start with our differences and see what you can relate to. You know what I mean?
I do like this, right? Because we do bring a lot of different things to our relationship, right?
True.
As you said, Maddie and I have been married for 30 plus years. We've been together. Oh gosh, it's going to be 35 years this May.
That's actually so rad. That's awesome.
Years?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It's great.
And of course there are people that are, I mean, we're very blessed, my husband and I, that my parents are still together. His parents are still together.
So true.
And so we have a lot of good role models for long-term relationship.
True.
And, let's face it, when you've been married, I'm going to throw it out 10 plus years, right? Because 10 plus years to someone is a good amount of time. And then you just go from there, 15, 20, 25, 30, and beyond. It's not all moonlight and roses. Like, it's every day is not a holiday.
So what do you see? All right, so I'm going to ask you, Kimmy, which we've never talked about before. What's the biggest challenge in being with the same person for 30 plus years? The biggest challenge?
I would say the biggest challenge is making it fresh and making it excitable, right? And one of the things that my husband and I like to do is to date. Just date. Just go on a date. And you know what? That might be easier said than done, but a date could be anything. A date could be a picnic, in the park. A date could be, taking a walk. A date could literally be going to the grocery store. I mean, it's spending time, right?
Kim walks to our grocery store and she calls me on the way, and then Matt meets her. How long does it take you to walk to Mariano's?
No,
40 minutes?
Yeah,
that's not.
It's like 3.5 miles. It's not. I love it. I actually love it.
I will say one thing that I think that you're forgetting that I think you guys do well as a date is that you watch shows together.
You're right.
And so you're like, I remember when I was married, we had the same thing. Like Tom and I were like, oh, we'll watch this episode together. So I couldn't watch it during the day, right? Until he got home.
Very true.
And you do that actually with Owen.
I do. My son, my youngest son.
Yeah. It's so cute. But I think that's also a date.
It is a date. Cooking together is a date. Making dinner.
Yeah.
It just.
You know what, Kimmy? We have different views on cooking. I think we should come out with that.
Yes. Yeah.
I just made my dad a macaroni and cheese. Like add the water in the thing and
put it in the microwave. And that's okay.
You know what? I just don't find pleasure in cooking, but I have never had a better meal than at their house. Aww. Because you and Matt cook with passion and you
We do love it.
I learned what sous vide meant. Is it sous vide or sous vide?
Sous vide, tomato. I really don't think it's French, so I think however you want to pronounce it.
Well, whatever it was freaking delicious, and it was on New Year's Eve 3 years ago.
Well, we do it every year.
No, so but the sous vide we didn't do this past year on New Year's Eve.
Maddie does it every year. He does do it. Oh, maybe not this year. You're right. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So the best meals I've ever had at your house have been, Matt is so passionate about cooking and meat.
So good.
Which is ironic because she's kind of a vegetarian. Let that sink in.
Right.
She does eat Maddie's meat, though.
I do eat Maddie's meat. Like, yeah.
I hope Owen's not watching.
The meat he actually makes.
Sorry, Owen.
Sorry, O.
Yes, sorry, O. So what I'm saying is it is ironic situation that Matt is all in the meat and Kimmy is like a lean, not typical meat
Love
person.
Fish.
But Matt has like a meat slicer and he does like
commercial grade. It's
a little
insane. Disturbing.
I think it's fabulous because I love meat.
He makes his own bacon. He cures his own
How many grills does Matt have?
4.
Who has 4 grills?
Nobody that I know.
Nobody
that's not like in that professional thing.
He's not in
Anyway, it's fine.
It's just what he does for sport.
It's fine.
For sport.
Sport
is like a hobby, right? Like for
sport
sports.
Is a hobby.
For sports.
That's
what Matt does. He does it for sports.
He does. But I think to get back to your original question is like I'm on this trajectory, right, of being with my husband, who I have adored and loved.
Yes.
For 30 plus years.
Love him. He's the best.
And it's interesting because we are coming into, as I mentioned on our first podcast, we're coming into a season where we're going to be empty nesters.
Yeah.
And our youngest is graduating from high school
this year.
And he is going on to college, which is exciting for us. And he's going to continue playing sports,
playing football as a kicker.
We're so excited. Yay! So we're so excited
for O.
But it really is putting my husband and I kind of back to where it all began, right?
Yeah.
And so, my husband and I were married for 5 years before we had children.
Okay.
And I love dating. Like, dating is just, dating's fun.
Same. I love dating.
So much fun.
I love dating. This is why I'm still single, but carry on.
But the responsibility of marriage is tough. And I know you women out there understand that, you've been with someone, you've had kids, you do a job, it's the in, it's the out, it's all the responsibilities that can get pretty mundane. True. And you have to work and communicate is really the bottom line.
So your biggest thing, though, is if you had one piece of advice to stay married for your 30 plus years, it would be to continue to date.
I would say it is continue to date.
Yeah.
Yes.
So whose idea is it? Do you set this up early in the week? Do you hey, let's cook on this night, or let's go to this restaurant? Or I know you guys live by your calendars.
Oh, so 100%.
So you should explain that because you're both people that work from home and you live by your calendars. But who sets up the date? And do you want Matt to have the masculine energy to set up the date? Or are you okay setting up the date?
So to answer your first question, we do have a calendar and we put everything in the calendar.
Everything.
Meaning if it's something I'm doing that he's not doing, I just want him to know I'm doing this. Right. So
this episode.
Correct. So
it's in the calendar.
It is. It actually, it is.
I'm with Tracy recording.
Yes.
Yes. I love that.
And we do that together so that we know each other's schedules.
Okay.
Right?
So when it comes to dates, what happens?
So I will put something in a calendar or he will put something in the calendar.
So it's both. You could have the idea or he could have the idea.
100%.
So you don't need him to make the plans.
No.
You just need to know when you make the plan, me and Maddie just going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Do you put grocery store in your calendar?
I don't put grocery store. Here's what I do on kind of like your
Your lips look
mundane.
so good. The color looks so good on you, by the way.
Well, that's because that's Mars. No,
I'm
Mars. It's NARS. Why did I say Mars?
It's
Like a
not
Mars bar, but
It's
it's NARS. It's actually better.
Mars bars are like, that's a whole nother topic.
Anyway,
what is what is nougat? Is it fluff?
Is that like a Three Musketeers? I think it's
I
fluff.
think
I think it is the fluff.
It's fluff.
It's fluff, like mixed with chocolate.
Okay. Anyway, your lips look good, and so sorry. So carry on. So if you don't need Matt to make the arrangement, you need him to accept the invitation.
100%. Yes. Okay. So that it's in his calendar.
Okay.
So that he knows what.
And it's not usually grocery shopping, but it's like date stuff.
It is date stuff.
Yeah.
It's, we're gonna, maybe we're going to dinner, or we're meeting friends, or we're gonna, like, whatever. It doesn't matter.
That's great.
It doesn't matter. But on the weekend stuff, that's not a solid date, like we just talked about, whether it's dinner or going to an event or something.
I would think of going to events in your calendar.
It is.
Okay.
The sidebar stuff is written on a pad of paper. Like, we're going.
You have a pad of paper, like in the kitchen.
That we can cross it off, because there's so much satisfaction in having a list.
I am a list person.
Crossing things off.
I am a list person.
Right? It feels so.
I love it. If
good.
I forget that I have to do something, sometimes I put it on the list after I did it.
Again.
You do that too?
Yeah. You're like, oh, I did it.
I'm obsessed.
I do checks. Like, it's a cross. I don't check.
I'm not a check. I'm a cross through.
Yeah.
You can still read it, but it's not a check. I'm a cross through.
So, yeah. I mean,
or if it's a notes in my phone, then I guess it's a check. But I like written paper still. I'm a Gen Xer.
We are Gen
X. Still like frickin' paper.
The feel of paper.
I like paper. I have notepads. I know exactly where they are in my office.
Here, so, I do like
paper. One line through it. I don't scribble it out. I want to see what I did.
Yes.
And okay. So 100%. You and Maddie do that.
We do that.
Okay.
So, and we talk a lot too, like throughout the day, like, what do you want to do tonight? We have each other's schedules. We also have our son's schedule that still lives with us, right? So we know what's going on.
Right.
We still do a lot of volunteering with the schools. So that's all in our calendar. But if we don't have anything going on, it's like, hey, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? And more likely than not, it's kind of to your point, what episode or what do we want to watch on TV tonight?
I love that you guys do that. I think it's cute.
And it's not every day.
No, it's like the simple thing. So I've been a fair amount of therapy, marriage therapy, with the ex-husbands.
Right. There's two. So I'm just saying, calling it out. It's as is.
What the main denominator is usually my needs aren't being met unless A, B, and C is done. And usually it's the man taking the lead in the masculine role of like saying like, I want to do this, or I want to, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to take me to Eddie V's every night.
Which would be amazing.
I do love an Eddie V's with live music after 6.
I mean, we kind of take ourselves to Eddie V's.
We do. It's a girls' night. We're going to record that one night.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm saying it's just like we're going to meet in the bedroom at this time and watch a show together, or we're going to like cook the meal. I love that. And if you're struggling in your marriage, then maybe that's a piece that someone out there can take away and say, hey, you know what? Let's just schedule like time together. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You don't have to leave the house.
No, that's
to watch a show together,
That's the beauty.
Now, sometimes you're watching Survivor when you don't care about reality shows, but you do that for the other person because they like it.
100%. That's marriage, give and take.
It's give and take.
100%.
But that's how you show that person. Another thing I learned in therapy is like, it's about the piggy bank therapy. Have you heard of that?
I haven't, but maybe there's like something similar I've heard of. So maybe
so
explain a little more.
The piggy bank is like, if you're my partner, I want to deposit into your account positive things. You looked beautiful today. Thank you for making me this. Thank you for the clean laundry, whatever. Anything you can verbally say, or even in our day and age text messaging, right? To build you up. Because if your account is not high enough and we come into a rough spot and my deposit is, I'm mad about this and that, if you don't have enough, then you sink too low to be able to come to the table. Now, if I have done a sufficient job as your partner to build you up, not because I didn't mean it, but because I meant it,
right.
Thank you for dinner. Thank you for cleaning up. I appreciate the way you did this, or I love the way you look tonight, or, whatever it is. And then you have an issue, which everyone has issues,
right.
Obviously.
Of course.
Then when you need a withdrawal, if there's not enough built up, Kimmy, then that becomes, now you're in flight or fight mode, And I recognize that. I haven't been in a relationship in a hot second, so I couldn't tell you that's a new experience for me. But I would say that I think you and Maddie do a great job in building each other up. And you can tell me it's not, because I'm an outsider view, honestly. And I think that that's when you guys do come to an impasse, that there's always like money in the bank.
I have never thought about it that way. And I will be open and honest. Matt and I have never been through therapy.
Yeah,
before.
That's okay. But
again,
it happens in relationships, right. Whether you
that's not to say, like I said, our relationship has not been all moonlight and roses.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to me. And as I was listening to you, I was thinking back, because I can somewhat multitask just a little, about those things that you were bringing up. And you're right. You do these things to help make your partner feel good.
And you do them because you love them.
You love them, but also maybe you do stuff even if you don't want to, because you love them.
And I don't understand why, if you don't think it, you don't say it. If I meet a woman and I don't even know her, Kimmy, and she looks good, I'm like, you look good in that outfit. I want to give her that energy. You know what I mean?
I think you are amazing.
Even more importantly, if you're my spouse, you know what I mean? But I am like, you look so good in that. Where's our booze? Because we got to move on to the singlehood now.
Well,
you're gonna need a refresher for that, Kimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what questions do you have about my singlehood, Kimmy? This ought to be great.
So, I hope you're okay with me just diving into how we.
Yeah, I can edit it if I don't like it.
The singlehood, very true. Okay, so a lot of your singlehood has developed really from online dating apps. Let's be fair, right?
You and Jen Murray, shout out to Jen Murray, told me you were made for dating apps, and I was like, really? Honestly, it's like online shopping. You know how easy it is to get an Amazon purchase, I need toilet paper, and then it shows up the next day? That is kind of how I have found online dating to be.
Very true. So, and I think we all, either ourselves or have had girlfriends, we're like, oh, give me your phone. We're going to swipe left, swipe right.
All y'all slid right and left. Oh,
right?
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
So much fun.
Everyone thinks it's fun. Chris O'Brien. Oh, yeah. Captain Snyder. All yours.
Y'all know. Y'all know. For sure. So, and that's just kind of girlfriend fun, right?
It is.
But then that ends up being something potentially for the person who's on the dating app.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear. So, it has actually been entertaining having you on a dating app. And also, I don't want to say scary, but challenging. I would go challenging more than scary for the most part, right?
I think I'm safe in the part that if you're online dating, you should always have a bestie like I do, that I send the image of the person, their real phone number. I would never go meet someone with an app phone number. And then I send them all the information. And then she also has my location.
I have her on Life 360. You guys know that from
So I'm like, hey, I'm walking into the state. If I am all of a sudden somewhere else, she would be like 911. right? Like,
which
she would hit the panic button.
Happens.
Yeah, that was so funny. Actually, one time when I was on 355.
One time. I thought she was in the Chicago River, like dead. Like,
that's dead. That's because...
Dead. Like, do you want to share what happened? Or shall I?
It was one time and it was an accident.
This one time at band camp? Yeah.
This one time at band camp?
I mean... my husband was also involved, so it was a really.
I was having the best night of my life.
We were very concerned about her.
I was at the best time of my life, and I was having a great time. And then maybe my phone was in someone's pocket, and we were at a restaurant that was very close to the river. And Kim and I, we were always talking about how people would disappear and show up in the river in Chicago.
Yes,
it was very recent.
I mean, look, come on, people. Actually, I don't think if we never said in our first original podcast that we are Chicago based. So
we are Chicago.
We are Chicago based.
Yes.
So
and a lot of people show up dead in the river.
This is very true.
And the criminals are smart because no DNA. You just throw them in the river. Honestly, the criminals are smart. So I was very close to the river. I understand. And when the phone was ringing, I was busy. And I was not interested in answering the phone. And what I didn't know is my phone was in someone's pocket. It was hitting the
like
emergency.
A locket in your pocket.
It was the emergency alert button. And so it was sending Tracy is in trouble message to Kim.
100%.
And two of my daughters. When literally I was having the best time of my life.
Uh-huh.
So that was unfortunate. I corrected it
for all of us.
I corrected
Not so much for you.
So, the phone shouldn't have that button there so easily because it was in his pants.
But you know what? But actually, I think it should, because say you weren't having a good time.
I was, though.
I know, but just say you weren't and you actually needed to send an SOS. That's a safety feature.
Well, I didn't know about the safety feature. I didn't think about it twice until later on. Everybody's blowing up my phone. I'm like, What are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we thought you were dead. I'm like, why would I be dead? I was having the best time of my life. Anyway, my apologies to my children and Kimberly for being my emergency contact.
It's fine. It's just the stuff I do.
But that was not a first date. You knew who I was with. I was not dying.
I know. But here's the thing. Like, it is interesting. I think we chatted last time about a book that would be potentially written or could be written. So there's that, because
I do have so many interesting people I've met.
She does. And there's I don't know how to describe it.
I'm not going to write a book. Maybe talk about it on a podcast.
She's going to write a book.
Kim remembers people's names more than I do. I'll be like, who was that guy that... She's like, Jim. I'm like, how do you know that?
She actually texts me and she's like, who's the guy I was at that blah, 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 blah?
Oh, that's embarrassing. I wouldn't have said that on a podcast. But that is true.
But I'm saying, like this is years ago.
All right,
I'm saying.
We got to wrap up, honestly. But this was a thing. And the point is that
we have different backgrounds in relationships, obviously.
And I think we have a lot to share on safety and nurturing relationships. And I think they're just different. So
we're going
more to come on that, I think, right?
We're going over our time. So, yeah.
More to come on that, I think.
We have a lot more to share.
Should we make this a part 1 of relationship series and then do a part 2 later?
100%, because there's so much to talk about relationships.
Thank you for joining us. We so appreciate you. Thank you for watching. To my bestie and my bubbles, I appreciate you. She's always taking care of me. Thank you so much.
Cheers.